So I just bought a $150,000 Tundra. I know that sounds insane, so let me explain. It's funny, when I first saw this thing listed online, I remember I turned to my wife and I said, "Do you trust me?" And she kind of looked at me in that kind of look that people give you when they're asked if you trust them. Okay, so I know one of the first questions that everybody's gonna want to know is, why in the world did I buy this truck? So in my case, we have a lot more Baja trips in our future. I'm actually pursuing a partnership with somebody down there and doing some stuff down there, so we're gonna find ourselves in the deserts a lot. So one thing that I wanted to do was to transition from a standard overlander to a pre-lander, I guess is the term that people are calling it now, but that's like a brand new term. So the idea of a pre-lander is kind of the mix of a pre-runner and an overlander into one. So I found this truck online for sale. A guy named Travis Hess built this truck. I am aware of him and some of his other builds. I'm aware of the shops that did most of this build. So as far as knowing the quality and attention that was put into it, I felt really confident about buying this truck. It was a great deal because, like I said, you don't get all the money that you put into a build out of a truck usually when you sell it. So they're putting in, you know, over $50,000 worth of parts and probably over $40,000 worth of labor into a $50,000 truck, and you're ending up with a $150-something-thousand truck at the end. I was able to get a really good deal on it. It's going to be doing a lot of desert running in the future, which was important to us, and it's important to be able to do a lot of high-speed stuff out there on the desert, and just be able to swallow those bumps. In my current truck, if I try to go 60 miles per hour through whoop-de-whoops, you will lose control and probably flip the truck because it's just not made for that. So yeah, that's why we got it. I know another question that we're gonna get asked a lot is, what does the build actually have in it? The long and short of it, it has the Camberg long travel system, both front and rear. The rear is the cage in the back of the bed, and the shocks come through the bed. The shocks are Fox 3.0 triple bypass shocks, and it has the Fox 2.5 coilovers in the front as well. So this thing, essentially, if you think about it compared to my cement Tundra, it probably has almost 3 to 4 times as much travel as my cement Tundra, yet it's only about 1.5 inches taller. So barely taller at all with all that extra travel. It is running 37s, so this thing has had the chops in the front to be able to handle that. It has fiberglass, ADV fiberglass on front and rear. It also has the Magnuson supercharger already installed, tuned. It's tuned up to 520 horsepower and about 500 pounds of torque. So it's got a C4 bumper on the front and rear. Some of that stuff will be, some of the stuff I'll be changing out, some of it I'll be keeping. It's got a whole array of rigid lights already on it and installed. It's got a dual battery already in there. So this thing is a very well built vehicle. It's got a lot of the stuff already in it, ready to go. In order to pull the 37s, it has been re-geared. It's re-geared to, with the nitro gears to the 529s. And the 529s, I was really impressed with them actually. We just took it on a shakedown trip. That was 2,100 miles that we did in a little less than 5 days total. And on that trip, the 529 gears with that supercharger and with the 37s, the truck got better gas mileage than my cement Tundra does with 35s and no re-gear. Gears obviously did their job. Another question that I know is going to come up is, how did the shakedown go? We literally drove from Idaho straight to Utah. It's about a 5.5 hour drive. Picked the truck up, turned around, drove home, stuck our tent on the truck, and then immediately we spent about 10 minutes packing. And then we left on a trip to California to meet some of our friends that have been traveling in a van for a while. We're avoiding people because of everything that's going on in the world with COVID. As you guys know, I already had it, so I'm kind of the lowest risk person on planet Earth, but I'm still trying to be respectful to everyone else out there. We actually were able to take the truck out on the sand dunes in Pismo. I don't know if you guys have ever been through that area, but there's the Pismo dunes is this huge OHV area where you can go off-road and drive over the dunes and do a lot of fun things. So we were kind of able to test out the long travel there, take it through some like whoop-de-whoops, like really fast, and just feel it glide. I was able to take it up some really big sand dunes, and even, you know, that's the kind of stuff on a shakedown where you learn things. So for example, the travel in the rear was basically perfectly dialed in. It was floating. It was awesome. The way the spare tire is attached to that truck right now is on a rigged hitch mount, and it's got a 37-inch tire. I'm not a big fan because it wobbles around a whole lot. It has some flex. I know that you could do a little bit of a hitch tightener in there that would at least cut down on the noise rattle that we were hearing. It makes it literally sound like the truck is about to fall apart when you're going through those sand dune, rough sand dunes fast. But long story short, I already have an Expedition 1 bumper I'll be able to switch out and put on there, and that mounts the tire a lot more securely. Nothing moves, nothing rattles. So there's things like that that you learn. I don't think the rigged spare bumper is a bad thing, by the way. This would be another perfect example of comparing two products. I mean, the Expedition 1 bumper is extremely expensive. It's an extremely high quality, excellent product that can secure a huge tire very nicely without cutting down your clearance, but it's very expensive. And the rigged solution is a much more affordable solution for a spare tire carrier. My problem is I already drag my hitch all the time in Moab when we're running trails there in the rock. So the idea of adding that much more of my hitch sticking out with a spare tire sticking way out there too just isn't gonna work for me. So those are the types of things we learned like right away, like we're gonna have to switch that out. Rear shocks were performing great. Front shock were performing great, but they were running a little soft. And the reason I knew that is my tires, when I would fully go down a dune and come to the bottom and go up at high speed, and it would fully compress, my tires would rub a little bit. And I've always told you guys how dangerous tire rub can be over time. It either damages your tires, damages your vehicle. These weren't really rubbing in that dangerous of an area, but it was still one of those mental notes of I can get in there, I can adjust compression and different things to fine tune for that so that doesn't happen. It also made me consider in the long run, I'm probably going to put in some kind of bump stop in there. I have bump stops already in the rear, but not in the front right now. So probably gonna do that at some point to be able to manage the rubbing so I don't ever have any issues with that. It was a really great trip. Like I said, we went all the way to the coast and then we started heading north. It was cool. We were actually able to grab a quick hike up to the top of Pine Mountain where the latest monolith was sighted. So we were able to run up there super early one morning and grab a picture of that. I don't know why that's cool. I really don't, but it's just kind of funny. I mean, they just pop up someplace, usually in a beautiful spot, and just if you're passing through and it's right there, why not park and hike up to it? So we did. Then I was able to take my two friends that were with us. They were in a van that they were sleeping inside of. We were able to take them through a part of the Central Coast where I grew up surfing on the coast, which was really cool. There's a really cool shipwreck you can check out there right now that's kind of fun to see. Obviously some great tide pools, some really beautiful views. I took them up to see the elephant seals that are outside of San Simeon. Those guys are entertaining for hours because they just kind of fight for a while and then go to sleep and then fight for a while and go to sleep. They basically act like my children. So yeah, it was a really beautiful trip. It was a fun shakedown. We were able to take it out on a couple long dirt roads up in the hills, kind of up on your way to like Ragged Point or on your way to Big Sur if you keep going. And it performed really, really well. The build quality on this thing is solid. It has had some miles on it, not that too many, but it has had some. So I do need to go through the entire vehicle for me to be confident to take it out to the middle of nowhere in Baja. I also need to know how to work on all these new pieces that I haven't had Fox, triple bypass shocks before. So to be able to understand how to work on those, to be able to understand the kit that I need to be able to service them on the road if something happens that's not catastrophic. All that kind of stuff is what I'm working through right now. But all in all, it's not clickbait. It really is a $150,000 truck. I obviously didn't pay that for it. I definitely would say thanks to Travis Hess for the quality of the build. And if you're gonna build trucks and then turn around and sell them later on in life, it's awesome to find people that do this good of a quality of work and care about what they build this much. I really appreciate that, and we're excited to have it, and I hope that he understands that he decided to move on from that one, but I hope he understands it's in good hands. It's going to go on a lot of adventures. It's going to get used exactly what it was built for. So we're excited. Stay tuned to the channel. We'll give you the full-blown walk around of the vehicle, hopefully as soon as it's not rainy and terrible weather, so I can get the camera outside more easily. And we'll be taking you on some of the upcoming trips too. So yeah, thank you. Like, subscribe if you get a chance, and see you guys in the next video.